Narnia and Horizon!
Clive Staples Lewis, known to millions simply as C.S. Lewis, transformed from an atheist academic to one of the 20th century's most influential Christian authors. His imaginative worlds have captivated generations through both his books and their film adaptations. The Chronicles of Narnia alone has reached global audiences through Disney's blockbuster films, bringing Lewis's magical world to life on screen. But what gave Lewis's writing such enduring power? What made his stories resonate so deeply with readers and viewers across generations? The answer lies in a profound transformation that occurred in Lewis's life, his journey from atheism to Christian faith, and how this spiritual awakening fundamentally changed his understanding of ethics, purpose, and human nature. Today, we'll explore how Lewis's conversion shaped his moral framework and ultimately led to literary works of extraordinary depth and universal appeal. Born in Belfast, Ireland in 1898, Lewis's early life was marked by tragedy when his mother died of cancer when he was just 9 years old. This devastating loss shattered his childhood faith. As he later wrote in his autobiography, Surprised by Joy, "I was angry with God for not existing." Lewis's brilliant mind earned him a scholarship to Oxford University, but his studies were interrupted by World War I. In 1917, he volunteered and was sent to the trenches of France. The horrors he witnessed there only deepened his atheism. Lewis later described seeing the bloated and decaying dead in no man's land, experiences that reinforced his belief that a loving God could not exist in such a cruel world. After the war, Lewis returned to Oxford, where he excelled academically, eventually becoming a fellow and tutor in English literature at Magdalen College. During this period, Lewis embraced a materialist worldview, believing that the physical universe was all that existed and that ethics were merely social conventions with no objective basis. His intellectual gifts were undeniable, but Lewis later described himself during this period as being very angry with God for not existing. Lewis's journey back to faith began through friendships with other intellectuals, particularly J.R.R. Tolkien and Owen Barfield. Their conversations challenged Lewis's materialist assumptions and opened him to new possibilities. In 1929, Lewis reluctantly admitted that God was God, becoming what he called the most dejected and reluctant convert in all England. His full conversion to Christianity came in 1931 after a now famous late-night conversation with Tolkien and Hugo Dyson about myth, truth, and Christianity. This conversion radically transformed Lewis's ethical framework. Where he once saw morality as merely social convention, he now recognized what he called the moral law, an objective standard of right and wrong that transcends human opinion and points to a divine lawgiver. In Mere Christianity, Lewis articulated this new understanding. My argument against God was that the universe seemed so cruel and unjust. But how had I got this idea of just and unjust? A man does not call a line crooked unless he has some idea of a straight line. Lewis's newfound faith revolutionized his ethical framework in several key ways. First, he came to believe in objective moral truth, that certain actions are inherently right or wrong, not merely by social agreement, but by their alignment with God's nature. Second, Lewis embraced the Christian virtues of humility, charity, and self-sacrifice. Where his earlier ethics had been centered on intellectual achievement and rational self-interest, he now saw love of God and neighbor as the highest moral goods. Third, Lewis developed a profound understanding of human nature as simultaneously fallen yet bearing the divine image. This nuanced view informed his ethics with both realism about human weakness and hope for redemption. In his personal life, these transformed ethics manifested in remarkable generosity. Lewis donated most of his royalties to charity and quietly supported numerous individuals financially. He also demonstrated extraordinary forgiveness, even caring for the mother of a friend who had treated him poorly for years. Lewis's ethical transformation wasn't just theoretical, it changed how he lived. As he wrote in Mere Christianity, "I believe in Christianity as I believe that the sun has risen, not only because I see it, but because by it I see everything else." Lewis's transformed ethical vision infused his writing with extraordinary depth and resonance. His fiction, particularly the Chronicles of Narnia, embodied his Christian ethics through powerful themes of sacrifice, redemption, courage, and love. In Aslan the Lion, Lewis created a character who embodied divine goodness and sacrificial love. The moral framework of Narnia, with its clear sense of right and wrong, consequences for actions, and path to redemption, reflected Lewis's Christian ethical vision. This moral clarity and depth gave Lewis's works a universal appeal that transcended religious boundaries. The Chronicles of Narnia alone has sold over 100 million copies and been translated into 47 languages. The film adaptations have grossed over $1.5 billion worldwide, introducing new generations to Lewis's stories. C.S. Lewis's journey from atheism to faith transformed not just his personal ethics, but the literary landscape of the 20th century. His conversion gave his writing a moral framework and spiritual depth that continues to resonate with millions worldwide. Today, whether through the pages of his books or the magic of film adaptations, Lewis's stories continue to captivate audiences because they speak to something deeper than entertainment. They address fundamental questions of good and evil, purpose, sacrifice, and redemption. In Lewis, we see how a changed heart led to a changed mind, and how that transformation produced literary works of such profound ethical vision that they continue to illuminate our understanding of what it means to be human. A man can't always be defending the truth. There must be a time to feed on it.